Hey guys, just going to do a quick little Bible study today, and this comes out of Matthew 7, starting in verse 24. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who builds his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. Uh, I'm a low-level guy. You got all these people who preach and talk about the ancient Hebrew language and all that. They might find crazy insight in something, but I like to try to break things down into the simplest areas, which is kind of where I'm at, the simplest areas. But this passage, all it's saying to us is telling us, do what God tells you to do, and God's going to protect you. And if you don't do what God's going to want you to do, He's not going to protect you. It's as simple as that. Though I could go into talking about reading the verse all over again, but it's just as simple as that. We listen to God, we do what He asks us to do, and He protects us. It's kind of like my son goes out and plays in the backyard, and he takes his little cart and he puts it against the fence. He climbs up on the cart and he's trying to reach the top of the fence. And I tell him, I'm like, hey, be careful, you're going to fall. Well, that's God. God's like, hey, listen, I'm telling you, you're going to fall. Listen to me. If you listen, you're not going to fall. And if my kid falls and hurts himself, being a good parent, I'm going to probably go over there and pick him up and make sure he's all right. But I'm like, I told you so. You didn't listen. And so that's what this passage is about. Just listening to God and doing it God's way. And if we do it God's way, He can protect us. It's not saying that everything in life is going to be all rosy and grand and all that. But He can't protect us if we're doing the things that we're not supposed to be doing. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. Under 3 minutes. Woohoo! Talk to you later. Bye.